Hey Saiko. Freedom isn't free. Sometimes you have to fight for it. Sometimes the fight isn't even on Earth. Sometimes you have to go into outer space to fight some Russians. And that's what we're gonna do, Saiko, because we're reviewing Vanquish. The plot kicks off when some Russians in space, not to be confused with Jews in space, blast a beam of what appears to be microwave energy down onto San Francisco Bay. The intensity of the energy wave boils the ocean, destroys buildings, and grossest of all, causes the helpless citizens of San Francisco to burst into bloody boils as they're cooked alive from the inside out. I know, it's pretty intense imagery for a little action game. After the devastating damage to America's beloved city, things continue to escalate when the lead Russian baddie contacts our president and threatens to continue his microwave attack on the Big Apple, New York City. But America doesn't negotiate with terrorists, nor do we back down from a fight, so immediately some tough-as-nails soldiers are sent into space to take the bad guys out. As players, we get to join the fight as Sam, a cybernetically enhanced super soldier from another elite military organization called DARPA. Sam's basically RoboCop, but with full cognition.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
But technically, we control his every move, so I guess he's exactly like RoboCop. Although, RoboCop does eventually override his machine programming to gain self-control, but Sam never does. He's always our puppet. Regardless, the goal in Vanquish is to assist the soldiers, who are led by a ginormous guy who reminds me a lot of Barret from Final Fantasy VII, and venture out into space to eliminate the terrorist threat, with extreme prejudice. Vanquish is a third-person over-the-shoulder shoot-'em-up. It was developed by Platinum Games, the creators of Bayonetta, and they know how to make fun games. And fortunately, Vanquish is no different. A lot of the action plays similarly to Gears of War. You run and gun baddies while crouching behind obstacles for cover. You can shoot right from the hip or aim to fire with more precision. However, Platinum Games did add a couple of niceties to the formula to keep things interesting. For one, using your suit's energy, you can propel yourself across the terrain like you're sliding into home base. It's a fun mechanic and can make for interesting combat scenarios as you circle your prey and fire at them from all angles. They also added in a slow-mo mechanic, a la bullet time from The Matrix. It plays similarly to Max Payne in that you can manually trigger the slow-mo for short periods of time, as long as your suit has enough energy, but the suit will automatically trigger bullet time when you've been hit hard enough and are in danger of dying. It's a nice feature that can help you stave off death. And if you're wondering if it's possible to power slide and trigger the slow-mo at the same time, the answer is yes, and it's pretty awesome. When it comes to weaponry, Vanquish delivers with a nice arsenal. You can only equip 3 firearms at once, but the quick access menu tied to the directional pad makes it easy to switch between weapons quickly while in the heat of battle. Many of the guns are your standard flare, machine guns, shotguns, rocket launchers, and sniper rifles. But Platinum Games also included a couple of fun Vanquish originals. There's a 4-pronged laser gun to blast enemies near and far with deadly precision. A saw blade disc launcher gun, which I never really got into. The blade kept bouncing off the walls in ways that didn't seem to help me much. And an auto-locking multi-rocket supergun, which is pretty cool as long as you can keep your distance to give time for the auto-lock mechanism to lock in. There's also this beefy BFG looking laser gun that shoots these large orbs that look like they should do some damage, but I never noticed any enemies actually getting hurt. I shot it a few times at enemies big and small, hoping to see some devastation, but it just flew into the distance and fizzled out. So for all I know, it's the greatest gun to ever exist in a video game, but I couldn't get it to do nothing. The shooting gameplay is really solid, the controls feel great, and the mechanics are expertly implemented. And whether you're headshotting an enemy soldier or circling a massive foe to strike from behind, or hammering a giant with a barrage of bullets, if you like shooting up bad guys, you're gonna have a good time. Vanquish originally came out in 2010. That's 15 years ago, so it's a bit old. However, a remastered version came out in 2017, and that's the version I played on Steam. So whilst I can't say how good the game looked in its original release, I can say this 2017 re-release looks pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
The environments of Vanquish are mostly made up of futuristic spaceship stylized rubble. It's like the opposite of post-apocalyptic. Instead of everything being brown and sandy and low-tech, it's gray with metal alloys and glowing lights. It would have been easy for the environments to look drab, repetitive, and lame, but they don't. The artist did a good job of making the world visually interesting to look at. Even with the limited color palette, the environments remained engaging throughout. The character designs for the good guys and bad guys are also nicely done. Even the generic enemy soldiers are designed well, making them that much more fun to blow apart. Vanquish is an example of how games can still look great even with a limited color palette and a very focused theme. Design matters, and when it's done well, it shows. I'm a big fan of Platinum Games. I really enjoyed their Bayonetta series. I played and beat Bayonetta 1 and 2, although I've yet to give number 3 a shot. And recently I picked up a copy of their action-adventure brawler Transformers Devastation, which I'm very much looking forward to playing and reviewing soon. So when I go into a Platinum Games creation, I have a pretty high bar, and Vanquish did not disappoint. Therefore, I'm giving Vanquish a well-deserved 4.5 out of 5. It's a fantastic action game with great weapons, great controls, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. The entire story can be beaten in about 6 to 8 hours, which is about as long as it feels it should be while remaining fresh and not getting repetitive. If you're looking for a fun action game to spend your weekend with, you won't go wrong with Vanquish. It's another showcase of what Platinum Games is good at: tight controls, exciting gameplay, and great visuals. In fact, I had so much fun with Vanquish, I'm kind of jonesing for another Platinum Games joint. I have Transformers Devastation in my queue, but I just learned they co-developed the recently released Ninja Gaiden 4, and that's just awesome. Can you imagine what goodness came from combining the two powerhouse studios of Team Ninja and Platinum Games? That's a recipe for something great. So if there's only one takeaway from this review, it's that Platinum Games knows what they're doing. They're like Pixar, but to action games. Well, they're like the original Pixar before they joined up with Disney and sort of lost their soul, but that's another story. And whether you want to try out Vanquish or Bayonetta or Transformers Devastation or Ninja Gaiden 4, they have a record of putting out quality, so I recommend giving any of their games a chance, because I bet you won't be disappointed.